this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day, out in the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by their character. I have a dream today. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Whispered Quotes episode, and today we are looking at the human rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. First, I have some general information on Martin Luther King Jr., and following that, we will jump into the main segment of the quotes. So, get comfortable, lay back, relax, and let yourself drift away as I whisper quotes by Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr., born on the 15th of January 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, was a Baptist minister who became a civil rights leader, promoting non-violent activities to achieve equal rights for African Americans. His legacy relates to his ability to motivate local and federal government lawmakers to end racial discrimination and to create economic justice for poor Americans in all aspects of their lives, including housing, employment, and education. Martin Luther King Jr. was in Memphis, Tennessee on the 4th of April 1968, staying at the Lorraine Motel. That evening, he was standing on the balcony when he was struck by a bullet. King was rushed to the St. Joseph Hospital. Although doctors attempted to save his life, he was pronounced dead shortly after his arrival. This video is dedicated to his memory, and here I have gathered some of his most well-known and inspirational quotes. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Nothing worthwhile is easy. Your ability to overcome unfavorable situations will provide you with time to demonstrate your true strength and determination for success. Always set your standards high. Your greatest achievements lie within the infinite feats you achieve in your life. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love something you make. May I stress the need for courageous, intelligent, and dedicated leadership. Leaders of sound integrity. Leaders not in love with publicity, but in love with justice. Leaders not in love with money, but in love with humanity. Leaders who can subject their particular egos to the greatness of the cause. It is always the right time to do the right thing. Returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. The silence of the good people is more dangerous than the brutality of the bad people. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for that which is right. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to take a stand for that which is true. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Never be afraid to do what's right, especially if the well-being of a person or animal is at stake. Society's punishments are small compared to the wounds we inflict on our soul when we look the other way. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes the personality and eats away its vital unity. Hate destroys a man's sense of values and his objectivity. It causes him to describe the beautiful as ugly and the ugly as beautiful, and to confuse the true with the false and the false with the true. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. anybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude. Let's build bridges, not walls. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Rarely do we find men who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than having to think. I agree with Dante that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in a period of moral crisis maintain their neutrality. There comes a time when silence becomes betrayal. Courage is an inner resolution to go forward despite obstacles. Cowardice is submissive surrender to circumstances. We are called to speak for the weak, for the voiceless, for the victims of our nation, and for those it calls enemy. For no document from human hands can make these humans any less our brothers and sisters. Violence as a way of achieving racial justice is both impractical and immoral. It is impractical because it is a descending spiral ending in destruction for all. It is immoral because it seeks to humiliate the opponent rather than win his understanding. It seeks to annihilate rather than to convert. Violence is immoral because it thrives on hatred rather than love. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. The difference between a dreamer and a visionary is that a dreamer has his eyes closed and a visionary has his eyes opened. If you can't be a sun, be a star, for it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. The richer we have become materially, the poorer we become morally and spiritually. We have learned is some good in the worst of us, and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. There is nothing new about poverty. What is new, however, is that we have the resources to get rid of it. Those who are not looking for happiness are the most likely to find it, because those who are searching forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. When you cut facilities, slash jobs, abuse power, discriminate, drive people into deeper poverty, and shoot people dead whilst refusing to provide answers or justice, the people will rise up and express their anger and frustration if you refuse to hear their cries. A riot is the language of the unheard. History is the long and tragic story of the fact that privileged groups seldom give up their privileges voluntarily. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they die for. We must learn that passively to accept an unjust system is to cooperate with that system and thereby to become a participant in its evil. Science investigates, religion interprets. Science gives man knowledge, which is power. Religion gives man wisdom, which is control. Science deals mainly with facts. Religion deals mainly with values. The two are not rivals. Never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was legal. We are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. This is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. You can kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets, even as a Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, "Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well." People with good intentions but limited understanding are more dangerous than people with total ill will. A man who won't die for something is not fit to live. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. Well guys, that is just about it for this Whisper Quotes episode featuring Martin Luther King Jr. But I really hope you enjoyed the quotes and found them as inspiring as I did. And if you did enjoy this video, as always, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button down below. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new around here, and let me know in the comments who you'd like to see featured on upcoming Whisper Quotes episodes, and I'll see what I can do. But thank you for joining me, and until next time, rest easy, sleep well, and I hope to see you again very soon for another video. And goodbye for now.